Good evening. This is Public Works and Transportation Committee. This meeting is now called to order. Again, this is Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting October the 20th. I'm the chair, Councilmember Xanthia Oliver, the 3rd District. At this time, we will call the roll for those members of the committee. Vice Chair, Councilmember Nathan Field.
Present.
Councilmember Chris Johnson. Councilmember Kobe Owens.
Present.
Councilmember Christian Willauer.
Present.
Councilmember President Trippy Congo. Okay, Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver, Chair, present. Once the call has been done for committee members, as a friendly reminder, only members of the committee should be making motions and seconding it. Are there any questions? Right now, we're going to get right to the agenda. It's not a hefty agenda tonight. So the first resolution, it's a resolution requesting additional parking space and pest control plan for 934 North Lumber Street demolition site. I am the sponsor. I will speak on it, and a couple people was going to come online, but they sent me some information because it's another meeting tonight, and I will read what they stated. I'm going to skip through everything. The Wilmington City Council 2002-2005 strategic plan stabilized Wilmington. A resolution requests the administration coordinate with the contractor undertaking the demolition of 934 North Lumber Street to ensure that there is appropriate protocol calls to address the pest control concerns related to the demolition of this longstanding vacant property. The resolution further requests that the administration continues the plans discussed by Mayor Mike Purzycki administration to convert 934 North Lumber into a parking lot following the demolition for current structures to accommodate the influx of new residents on the east side neighborhood. Just to give a little history, 900 block of Lumber Street, they have new homes there. I think they're doing a ribbon cutting this week. They really look nice. However, at first they were Reverend Keeley's, and when they initially brought the blueprint and everything to us down to a civic association on Reverend Keeley's church on 9th and Pine, the parking lot wasn't being touched. They were just going to remodel the church and make it for individuals who wanted to come in there and cook, have some space for Richard Raw and his wife to do an educational component in there. And it was a lot of blueprint laid out for residents to see on the east side. Long story short, about a couple months later, couple residents and myself walked down to the church just to see when he was going to get started. That church has been there for over 100 years, and it's been vacant for I don't know how long, and it's a heavy pest control issue down there. So I get a lot of calls about it. So we walked down to the church, and somehow that particular day, the mayor did a switch with Reverend Keeley and gave that lot to another individual and gave him a lot down on 5th Street, and the residents didn't know about it. But I was able to speak to, or myself, I spoke to Tom Ogden, and he did state that the church would be torn down, and he would make sure the homeowners in that area were allotted specific lots. So I think it may be about maybe 6 or 7 parking lots, but some of them will be for the residents who need to park there because they've added new homes there, and it was nowhere to park on that block as it was. If you look it up, there's been a parking lot for I don't know how long. So this is just to ensure once they take the building down, the residents still are able to have that as a parking lot, because sometimes things change when different administrations come in, or things change based on how individuals are looking at things. And nowadays, you have people buying up the east side like water, but you do have some residents that have been over there for over 50, 60 years and would like to have a parking space. So I'm glad I have spoken to the administration about it, and it should be okay. But I wanted to put it in writing to assure the residents that I'm listening to them. Do I have any questions before I read what one of the residents sent me? Okay, I'm going to read one of the letters that she sent. Councilman Oliver, council members, I'm writing because of promises that were verbally communicated to the homeowners in the 900 block of Lumber Street. We have been convinced in many ways by the city. We have 4 to 6 months. Oh, this is a lot. 4 to 6 months for the street to be dug up. 2 to 3 different times, the gas pipes, dust everywhere. The new house were put up on the church parking lot more than dirt and dust. A few of us have enclosed porches. The tests are open. We are promised that we will have power-wise. It hasn't happened as of yet. The church on the corner of Temple was growing trees inside of the building. It was deteriorating inside. We were told that the church would be torn down and it would be given to homeowners and numbered parking spots. This is needed due to the fact that new homes don't have driveways. I also would like to hit on the fact that the church being torn down there there will be an infestation of rodents from the destruction. It was stated around the church would be treated. Well, I feel the whole area should be treated. Rodents infestation was not given an option when the street was dug up. It's not fair to the homeowners, taxpayers who have spent their money fighting rodents without regards. Resident of the 900 block of Lumber Street. And I totally agree with that. I don't understand why it wouldn't be a lot of individuals who are working on infestation on the east side period with all the building. I know it was some issues around the Bancroft, and no one had from the previous administration has sent out any pest controls, but I know with this one they have. But I understand what the homeowner is saying. They need to really put a lot of poison or whatever in the drains, and they need some traps for the raccoons running around there. So hopefully that's noted for 924 Lumber Street. Do I have any questions? It's a resolution. Anybody have any questions on the screen? Councilmember Darby, I'd like to acknowledge Councilmember Darby. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions regarding demolition of 924, Councilmember Darby? Can you hear me?
I have no questions.
Okay. Any questions from anyone from the public? Okay, next we have an ordinance 25056, an ordinance to amend Chapter 42 of the City Code regarding paving and private control non-dedicated alleys. Council sponsor is Councilmember Darby.
Yes. So this piece of legislation is really focused on changing a piece of policy that the city has in regards to alleyways and repaving them. I want to talk about that policy for a second. So for example, on my block, I have an alleyway, and let's say I wanted to get my alleyway repaved. The trash truck goes back there. The city is using it. However, the city argues that oh, you own the alleyway and should be in control of it. And if you want us to repave it, you have to come up, you and your block, the people who live there, have to come up with the majority, 60%, to cover the cost of the alleyway being repaved. And I want to be honest, my block and most blocks in the city are not going to be able to come up with 60% of funds to be able to get their alleyway repaved. And why are alleyways important? I know, for instance, a lot of alleyways bring crime, rodents. It could be a public nuisance, right? And I think that if we really really change our policy, especially in like certain census tracts, as you read the legislation, certain census tracts which are low income or not, moderate income areas, to say if you live in these areas, the city then would look at funding the whole thing for it to be repaved. I'm currently working with the administration, or the administration is currently about to drop a process where they did put money in the last budget cycle to start that, right? So they're doing a pilot where we can, and people from the city can apply to get their alleyway repaved. So that was like iteration one. Like, okay, let's see if I can get money in the budget to get alleyways repaired. They said yes. Now we're going to talk about what does that look like long term in legislation, to say if you live in this certain area of the city in low income, moderate income neighborhoods where your block will never come up with 60% of the funds to repave, that the city will then work with you in regards to making sure that you get repaved through funding that we have. So that's what this legislation is about. So I don't know if my council colleagues have any questions.
Yes, I do. Yes, I have a statement. I do like this legislation. I like to talk, like you said, the 60% is a lot. I have an area over 11th Street Bridge, which is Grants Way, that I've been trying to get their alleyway done for some time now. And as you stated, it's like an older, mature crowd over there. I mean, constituents in that area who don't have, they're on a fixed income, and they are homeowners. And I understand where you're going with this. That's what I like to say. And
Okay.
thanks a lot. Anyone else have any statement or anything to say? Councilmember Kobe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I just want to say thank you so much, Councilwoman Darby, for bringing this forward. This is really good legislation. I know there's multiple areas in my district, whether it's West 23rd, East Lawn, that need help with a program like this. So I definitely look forward to supporting this on the floor, and would ask to be noted to be a co-sponsor of this.
I'd like to acknowledge President Conga. Do we have any more questions regarding the paving ordinance 25056? Councilman Willauer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also wanted to thank Councilwoman Darby for bringing this forward. It's important legislation, and I would like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Yeah, add me as a co-sponsor. I don't think, unless I'm missing something, I don't really see anything wrong with this legislation. Qualifying put property owners, low income, yeah. Yes, I think it's overdue. Do we have any more questions? Councilman Nathan Field.
Yeah, I have two questions. One, do we have, Council Member Darby, what is the opinion of Public Works Department on this? Because it's come up once or twice a couple of years ago, and they had some views on it at the time.
Good question.
And so I would like to know what the Public Works Department, what their view is on this ordinance. And would this be available to anybody in any neighborhood? So is this something that everybody in the city can take advantage of?
Councilman Darby, you would like to answer that?
Yes. So no. So this would be for qualified census tract for low income housing tax credit program. And it has a defined under section 26 USC within the legislation. If you look at it, you can reference it to see, but it has to be in a qualified census tract. So if it's in a neighborhood where people who live on a certain block could afford to get their alleyway repaved, then it would apply to them. But this is for communities that are on a qualified census tract. So that was question 2. Question 1 was about Public Works in that conversation. So there wasn't pushback. So I had meetings about alleyways from the getting money in the budget with Public Works, with the administration about just alleyways, period. They know that I was putting this legislation up. They haven't opposed it, but in the meeting, no one wasn't against the idea. When we had the meetings about the alleyways, and that's why we're piloting a program now with alleyways, a way for people to apply to get it repaved without the community having to put in any money.
Follow up, Councilmember Field.
I mean, my only follow-up is I would like to hear what the opinion of Public Works is before making any final vote on this ordinance. And sometimes they, so I just like would given that they had pretty detailed thoughts on this when it came up 2 or 3 years ago, I just want to know what their opinion is on this.
Thank you, Council Member Field. Elijah, has anyone from Public Works been reached? I mean, nobody reached out to them to ask them to speak on it? I'd like to make a statement. I think for now on, when it's the ordinances, someone from the department should be here to speak on it because he has a valid question, but somebody, I don't think it's fair for us to come to committee, talk about it, and then it's nobody here, and then you look up and somebody vetoed it or they disagree with it. This is the time to be here to speak on the ordinance. As Councilmember Nathan is saying, somebody should be here to answer his question. So there's no one on the line from the administration? Wow. Okay, this doesn't have to be voted out. Do you know when it'll be? Any more questions from anyone from the public? Any more questions from council members? Ms. English, you know when this will be on next council meeting? Sure, no problem.
Councilwoman Will Heller has her.
November the 6th.
November the 6th. Thank you. Well,
Yes.
any other council members have anything to say? Okay, they don't have to be voted out of committee. With that being said, no questions from council members, no questions from the public. Oh, Councilwoman Willard, I didn't see her hand. Okay, Councilwoman Willard.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank Councilwoman Darby, who did have a number of meetings with the administration about this policy of paving the alleys, and that, and also the administration put money aside for this purpose, based on Councilwoman Darby's advocacy as well. So it wasn't like the administration hasn't been part of conversations about this legislation. I just wanted to underline that.
Thank you. Yeah, she just mentioned that. That's why I mentioned what I mentioned. Somebody from the administration should be here Okay, we have Ms. Bass Knight.
Yes, Madam Chair, and I just wanted to share too that the legislation was shared with the administration, and it was shared with Commissioner Williams. I didn't hear like any direct response back, but we will get some type of response back to Councilman Field's questions. But I just wanted to share that it was shared with her.
Okay, thanks a lot. There's no more questions from the public, from council, committee members. It's been properly, let's say, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Okay. It's been properly moved in second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Have a good evening. Motion carried.